Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode issue. I don't know what we want to call it of what we're calling Past Parallel. We were just calling it the live show. But
way past parallel.
We're way past parallel. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. I'll write it. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Yeah.
Do it live.
And I mean, welcome to everybody who's watching this right now. This is something we've been talking about doing for a long time. Finally got it fired up. Last day of the season. You know, can't hold anything back now. We got Uncle Tron here to my left. We've got Chris Solomon coming from the blog house in Dublin, Ohio. Boys, how we doing?
The blog basement. The blog cellar.
The blog you look like you're in the blog office.
I finally moved up to the office right next to the Wi-Fi. There's a lot of bandwidth going on right now, so I had to get as close to it as possible.
He's in the B suite.
He's in the
B suite.
You look like a business pro. Total business pro.
I mean, this is where the work gets done. This is where the magic happens. So
I love it.
You got quite the soul patch going. Like
soul patch?
Yeah, it's like your soul patch on your goatees.
Well, it just doesn't grow right here. Like this is not intentional. I wish I could. I don't really. I can't grow it.
Just shave everything and just keep the soul patch.
This is good content already that we got going here. All right, boys. Let's talk tour championships. So we got the X-Man, Xander Schauffele. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Let's just lay out a little agenda for us, what we're going to do today.
Yeah, cool. So, well, stick around, first of all, no matter what the agenda is. I mean, it's going to be good the whole time through.
You trust us, right?
We're going to talk a little Tour Championship presented by Coca-Cola and Southern Company.
Proud partners.
And we know that Tron was steep on the Web Tour finals.
Yeah.
We'll talk those, debrief a little bit, and then we're going to get into Wolfhammer, kind of the game that's sweeping the nation. And answer your questions.
Take some questions.
Yeah, so we basically, we got the Periscope fired up here. If you guys got any questions, comments, insults, concerns, just fire those at us. We'll kind of get to as many as we can, and we'll start from there. So, Soly, Justin Thomas is the FedExCup champion. You want to start there? How do you want to do this?
I mean, it was super exciting. Yeah, he's walking off the 18th green like visibly cursing at missing the last putt, and like the graphic comes up. It's like 2017 FedEx Cup champion. I was like, I'm not sure this is really how it's supposed to go. Like, I think it's in theory should be a lot more exciting, but I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I say the tour has been super lucky. I think the last probably 8 years, either like the winner of the FedEx Cup or winner of the Tour Championship has won the FedEx Cup, or the winner has just made a lot of sense. Like if Paul Casey won today, it would not make sense for him to be the FedEx Cup champion. Like, that's just not – you don't walk away from this season thinking Paul Casey was the man and deserved it. Like, JT or Spieth should have been the champion. And it essentially came down to, like, a match play, luckily for them. Like, if Webb Simpson goes out and wins this thing, like, it just makes it kind of becomes a mockery. So it worked out really well. They keep getting lucky with the way it works out. Maybe that means the formula is good. But, man, I don't know. It's just – it's really tough to really I don't know, like Tony Finau birdied the last hole to move Spieth out of first place in the FedEx Cup projected standings. Like Finau's birdie affects $7 million. I know money doesn't mean a lot to these guys, but man, it's hard. It's really hard to.
It's still $7 million.
It's $7 million. Yeah. It's the most money these guys will ever play for in any capacity. So
the whole playoff thing. They were saying at one point they were going to go to. I was like, whoa! I didn't know that was possible.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome, and we always get like teased with that every year, where it's like, well, if this, and this all happened, we'll have a playoff for $10 million, and it's never has played out. But I would love if it did. I think that'd be awesome.
I mean, it's not a great tournament, 30 people, but the last few years have been pretty exciting. Like today was pretty exciting. That back nine was interesting, but they don't do a great job of explaining what is. They get Steve Sands up there and doing graphics and all that stuff, but it doesn't. They don't do a great job.
I don't know if they don't do a good job of it, or like you can't do a good job of it.
Right.
Yeah. I think that may be the problem because it's just so convoluted.
And that's where I think it does get a bit of a misnomer where everyone's like, oh, it's so nobody knows the algorithm. I'm like, well, it's not an algorithm. It's just
math.
Addition. Like you just add the points up, but they're constantly changing, so it's hard to keep track of.
I need to mock it up. I need to mock it up where 32 guys. The season should end with 32 guys. The top 8 get double buys. The next 8 get buys, and the bottom 16 start with like a bracketed tournament. Like it gives you a good advantage to, you're in the top 8. Essentially, you finish in the top 16 or whatever. You get a nice advantage from having a good points lead, and you play match play to end the season. Like that. That's how you would do a true
People
playoff.
hate match play though.
I know, but
TV hates match play, especially if there's only 2 dudes on the course at the end there.
Just do it out west. Do it in primetime. Do it during the week, not against football. Like, come on. You're telling me, let's say it was Spieth and JT playing off for $7 million. Like, I'm watching that. People are going to tune in and watch that.
So I have an idea that I've been floating to Tron all weekend here. But I think it's shootout. I think you do 54 holes of stroke play, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, under the Soly plan, you would not be going against football. But I think you do 54 holes of stroke play. You get the top 10 guys or something like that. And then it's a straight-up knockout like we did at the Sawgrass shootout. 10 guys tee off all at the same time. High score gets bounced, like goes to a chip-off or goes to whatever to keep guys in or whatever.
The problem with that, like you're
there's a million problems with it. It's so stupid, but it's so stupid. No, it makes no sense, but it would be awesome, and I would watch it. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it's got to be something different. It's like, like I feel like this discussion that we're going to have here is just, I'm sure you could find a discussion from 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and it's going to sound very, very similar, which is maybe kind of a metaphor on professional sports in general. But
more things change, more things stay the same.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's like, I don't know. I think that if you're going to change it, you need to just change it like wholesale. Yeah.
Luckily, this is going to be the only show on that talks about changes that should be made to the FedEx Cup finale. We're the only ones that are going to be talking about this. So,
all right. So my thing is there needs to be, first of all, props to Xander Schauffele.
X going to give it to you.
X gave it to us.
Yeah.
He's you talk about just
Team X plays.
I mean, even Johnny was impressed with him. Johnny was like, "This guy, he's better than a veteran."
Yeah.
So props to him, first of all.
And I think you mentioned this in a tweet, but I mean, we talk about money doesn't matter and all that stuff. He's playing for a shitload of money. Like JT and Spieth have made so much, and $10 million is less meaningful to them. But I mean, he's still pretty early in his career, and it is kind of cool. I know, Tron, you were en route here, but the putt he made on 18. Sal, you want to take us through that?
Oh my god! Like he should have to donate some of the money he just earned because of that putt. Like
not a lot, just like $100,000.
Yeah, just like $100,000. Just donate to charity.
It was a long one.
No, it was 2.5 feet, but it was 360 degrees.
It was an all-around good putt.
All-around good putt. He
thought he missed it.
Yeah, he thought he missed it. I thought he missed it.
So, first of all, he has 2 physios.
Respect.
They said that on the telecast here down the stretch.
I love it.
Whoa, that's a lot of physios.
His body's his instrument.
Evidently, yeah. He's like the most ethnically ambiguous guy on the planet.
Yeah.
But
he's like a citizen of the world. I didn't know much about his background. It was awesome.
His mom's from Taiwan.
Yeah,
his dad's from Germany.
That was great. Love it.
All right. First of all, it needs to be 3 weeks.
Okay.
It will be. It will be starting in 19.
Moving towards that.
Yeah. Okay. So it will be. It was too hot in Atlanta this week, I think. If you move it up, it's going to be way too hot. Yeah. If you move it up into August or Labor Day.
I thought you were laboring like it was too hot as a criticism that they should have changed.
I watch probably as much golf as anybody, and I watched NFL and Web Tour on my 2 TVs today for
badass.
Most of the day. except for when Kisner rinsed his tee shot on 15, and Johnny was like,
and Paul Casey.
Yeah.
And they both made 4. That was actually pretty impressive.
But
so wait,
all right. So my take is, I didn't even get to my take. My take is, you need to make the regular season mean more, and you need to split this $10 million purse in half. You need to do $5 million for the regular season winner. So I want dudes showing up to the Wyndham. You could have twice the. I don't think it's the money. I think $5 million would still get guys just as pumped up to play in an event versus $10 million. I mean, $5 million, that's still by far the richest thing in golf.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I think then at the Wyndham or whatever tournament you want to put at the end of the regular season, you've got guys jockeying for their tour cards, guys jockeying to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs, and guys jockeying for that $5 million and all the bonuses slotted out from there. The other thing I think they should do is, I think if you make the Tour Championship and finish in the bottom half of the field, instead of getting like $300,000, which is how it works right now, you should get penalized. You should have to
should get taxed.
You should have to subsidize the top half of. The FedEx Cup is insane.
It's amazing.
Like Zach,
it really is amazing.
Zach finished 126th in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Didn't even that's essentially like failure.
Yeah.
There's 126, loses his card, still makes $70,000.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Like it's good for golf, I guess. I mean, it's good for the game that the FedEx is willing to pony up all that money, but it's just it's so weird. Every year it's so weird to just have these guys play for such a huge sum of money, yet there's not like the prestige that comes with winning a major.
Dude, check out his microphone.
I love it.
What's that?
The microphone's great.
It's great.
Dude, I got like an
Did you
arm.
just notice?
Look at this thing. Moves and stuff. Professional.
God.
Hey, all right, so can we talk
show
about
Joe Dirt.
Can we talk about Xander? What should we be like? What is his like ceiling? Is he a Ryder Cupper? Is he like I'm not like super excited about him.
First thing that, like,
I love it.
I'm shocked that you haven't already declared whether he's a Ryder Cupper or not.
But I'm asking you. I don't know. Should I be really excited about Xander Schauffele?
I feel like we should Skype in Andy here. I know Andy's big on Xander, and I don't know. I mean, it's getting hard. It's getting to the point now where there's just so many of these guys, and it's like almost getting tough to kind of tell them apart. I almost think that's what JT. This is all very like public kind of PR perception stuff, but I almost think that's what he suffered from a little bit before this year. Was, he's obviously uber talented and he's got all this promise and stuff, but there's so many of these guys that he's kind of competing with that it's kind of hard for these guys to stand out, I feel like. So
the insane thing to me is thinking about last year's Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Like JT, like not being on the team, and and it's like Soly, you were shouting from the, all the way from the mountaintops, but it's like there's no foresight at all with any of these international teams or any of it's all, hey, past performance and what have you done for me lately kind of thing instead of
and buddy club. Like if you're the relationship with the captains is everything. I mean that's what it boils down to. But what happened in the web tour today? I know that's what you were grinding on.
I'm gonna go get my beer.
3-man playoff. Oh, come on, man. Come on. 3-man playoff. Chesson, Lindheim, and one other dude.
What about the guys that we have our eyes on the most? Are we were good days, not good days?
It was
a mixed bag.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag. I know we were both real big on Luke. Got through this today.
Bad day.
He had a tough day.
Yeah.
ZB started wobbling, but then he came in
bucking his
hot.
head.
Yeah,
3 birdies in a row. Then he hit it to like 10 feet, and they finally showed him on the broadcast.
What did he finish?
I think
T7
he finished
or something.
So Oppenheim, Lindheim, and Hadley, and Lindheim birdied the first playoff hole to win. Hadley would have gotten Battlefield promotion, even though he already has his card locked up.
Yeah.
Which would have been just an icing on the cake. Zach finished T11.
All right, so it's gonna be a big week next week, right? Like
he's like
right over there at Atlantic Beach
he's
Country
like
Club.
He's like 2 spots out of getting his card back, basically. He's like 27th or 29th.
So, going back to the Tour Championship, I meant to bring this up, and somebody actually just asked about it on Periscope, which, by the way, you keep firing your questions and insults and comments.
Yes.
Someone
there's some good insults.
Some good insults.
I can't read. Yeah.
Someone asked if me and Tron are living together, which is not true. And then
We've been
someone
hanging out with Freddie all weekend.
Someone said no, they're just sleeping together, which is
2 dads.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Freddie's
that
got
was
2 dads.
That's cool.
It's 2016.
It's 2016, guys. Yeah, open your minds. But no, someone asked about Paul Casey, and I brought this up on I think it was a podcast or like a profanity laden text message chain or something. But Paul Casey is one of those guys that if he was 23 or 24 and kind of the next big thing, he would get shredded for not winning. I feel like, and I mean he has finished. if you look at his stuff, I don't even know. I can't remember the numbers, but he's got like 10 top fives over the last year or something like that, year and a half. I mean, he's playing so well and just can't get it done. It seems like, and today was kind of the day where it was like
it was interesting. The other day on watching, it was Thursday or Friday, watching the pregame show on Golf Channel. Randall was like, "Well, there's a reason that Paul Casey like never wins," and I was like, "Man, can you keep going with that? Like, I want to know, like, why, like, what's the reason?" But I mean, it's true. Like, he puts himself in great position, and then for whatever reason, like, he wasn't even remotely in the hunt today, just as far as his ball striking and everything, and then rinsing his ball at 15 there. Like, that was bizarre, where nobody hit it in the water all day, and both the guys in the last group.
Yeah,
not good.
But,
we ready to do some hammers?
Yeah, I think so. You guys, you got anything else? Final thoughts, tour champion? I guess really final thoughts for the season. I feel like maybe we should just make a show that kind of recaps the season. We'll put a little more thought into it.
Well, the new season starts like immediately, so we better do it quickly.
It starts like tonight.
One thing, I mean, JT won 6 times this year.
That's a lot.
That's so many times.
That's a lot of wins.
It's a lot of
like $20 million this year.
Well, like $20 million.
Can we talk about Spieth almost like backdooring his way into
the
winning the FedEx Cup, though?
He was leading going into the event.
I guess it was front-dooring it, but like...
Yeah.
But he's been on cruise control the last 2 weeks, and it's just totally... Even his cruise control is great.
I'm surprised Tron isn't lobbying that Leishman should have won the FedEx Cup.
You know what? Leishman made $930,000 this week between coming in T24 and 6th in the FedEx Cup. So that's a good
haul.
Yeah, or good. I mean, I guess it's not a week, but that's a season. My other big takeaway was Canterbury, where they had the web tour this week. It was awesome. That place so good. Greens were firm. It's under 7,000 yards, but you got to play for position.
It's really good.
All right, well let's switch gears. Let's talk Wolfhammer. How do we want to do it? Tron, maybe you tell the backstory. I'm sure some of the people watching, kind of know the story here. I'm guessing not everybody, so why don't you kind of set the table a little bit? By the way, you guys keep commenting. We're not taking the hats off. We don't care. We don't care. Keep bringing them on. No, we're inside. It's not sunny, but we got hats on.
It's windy outside, though, too.
It's a fashion statement. Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
I didn't gel my hair today.
Just like DJ and I are a lifestyle.
That's right. Exactly.
Our wives use
alternative lifestyle
right now.
Yeah. What else are people saying? We can't see anything.
Yeah, no.
Everyone needs to chill about the hats. Totally agree. Wives in quotes. What's wrong with hats inside? That's what I'm saying. Shout out to the sponsors. These are actually not sponsored hats. That's why that's why mine's backwards. But
this one's kind of.
Anyways, let's talk.
Let's talk
Wolfhammer.
On my Fujikawa.
There have been few. No, there have been very few to no Fujikawa comments.
All right, Wolfhammer. So I was in Greenville playing the BMW Charity Pro-Am with my man Chesson, Chipper Jones, AJ McInerney. And due to a clerical error, the franchise caddy for me, or attempted to caddy for me.
There's a podcast about it. Look up the Trap Draw podcast about Tron's dad caddying.
Oh, he introduced himself to Matty Kelly, who's Leishman's caddy today at Eastlake. He was like, he texted me. He was like, "Dude, met the franchise today. Highlight of the week for me." He asked for some tips, though, as far as toting the bag, but due to a clerical error, we missed the cut. They have a 54-hole cut for the Pro-Am. Missed the cut heading into Sunday. Didn't end up mattering because Sunday got rained out at the tournament, but these dudes had invited me over to Greenville Country Club.
Clerical error.
No, I promise you, it was a clerical error.
Hosel adjacent irons you were hitting had nothing to do with it.
We were 30 under through 3 rounds, man. They put us in the wrong.
Ball goes too far.
They put us in the wrong pool, man. They put us in the wrong pool. I'm telling you.
All right, irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
I'm going to use that for my next shank, though. Yeah. Clerical error.
It was a clerical error. They felt terrible about it. They said they regretted the error. Anyway, these guys, Kenny Goulet, a.k.a. GH, over at Greenville Country Club, A couple random guys invited me over to play there. We played in the rain. I showed up. They're like, "Yo, you want to play our local game, man?" I was like, "Sure." Little did I know, it changed my life forever. Like it's like my life pre-Wolfhammer and post-Wolfhammer. We played in the rain, and like it ended up being probably one of the most fun rounds of golf I've ever played in my life.
So Tron came back to Jacksonville. He was raving about this game, Wolfhammer, which is, as you probably pieced together here,
and I lost my ass.
A combination of wolf and hammer. It's basically wolf with exponential junk here. So Tron was raving about it when we were up on our way to the PGA Championship in Charlotte, stopped in Greenville. All of us had a chance to play. There's a video that we put out. Here's just a snippet of that video, but if you want to watch the whole thing, I suggest going to the YouTube channel and watching the whole thing. But this is a bit of what you can expect playing Wolfhammer.
Hammer, take, hole, birdie, pull it.
First 2 holes, we're up a pretty good amount, so that's the good news. Bad news is Tron's not really comfortable till he's down 200. So we'll see.
Oh my God, that's murder! Call the police! Oh, baby.
We're just all out here trying to do the best we can.
We're giving up our Hogan, but we make up the Hogan if we
got an alternate rattler. We get actually extra dot if we make this shit.
So that's just a taste of kind of what we experienced when we were out there. Soly, I know we were kind of expecting some questions for some fans to kind of clear up some of the rules here. You want to take it from here?
Yeah, so I think people had trouble understanding the hammers right from the start. So I think we need to explain hammers. So everything you're doing in this game is for a dot, and you determine your dollar amount for the day. You can change the amount around, whatever. You can do front nines are worth $1, back nines are worth $2, whatever you want. So everything's worth a dot.
For the first time, like,
keep it low.
Don't think that like we're just playing for $1 a dot. Like, don't think that it can't get up into the.
We've played a quarter a dot,
and
it's still
people have
fun.
still lost like close to $100.
Yeah, I've seen in dollar dots somebody lose $160 on one hole, so it can happen. But so the hole you're playing for a dot. Right, so that's to start. And anytime you're in an advantageous situation, either team can throw a hammer, and that adds a second dot to the bet. The other team has the choice to either take that hammer. If you take that hammer, it adds a third dot. So you essentially went from playing for one dot for the hole to now 3. If you are in a very disadvantageous situation and you don't want to take the hammer, you can drop it. It doesn't add a third dot, and the team that threw the hammer gets that second dot. Does that all make sense? I know it makes sense to us, but
the toughest thing for me to get when I first played it was who holds the hammer at first, and that's the thing. Nobody holds the hammer, or like, I guess everybody holds the hammer at first.
Yeah.
You can throw the hammer on the tee box.
Yeah. The easiest way to explain it is with a scenario. So let's say me and Soly are on different teams. Soly hits it in the shit. I throw the hammer. Soly can either take. Soly never hits it in the shit.
Let's do a realistic situation.
He can either take the hammer, and that basically keeps him in play for the original dot, or if he wants to drop the hammer, he loses that original dot. And so, really, I mean,
and the junk's still alive.
Yeah. Well, let's not confuse it any further. So you always want to take, unless you're in the hole. Unless you're definitely not going to win, you want to take. Is the easiest way to explain it. That makes sense?
Exactly.
Yeah. If you don't take, like, you got to really be in the pocket if you're taking.
Yeah, if I'm like,
if you're not taking.
Yeah, if I'm putting from further away for par and Tron's putting from closer for birdie and he hammers, it would make sense to drop in that situation. Like if it's really a big difference, like it's like the odds are that I'm not going to tie this hole.
Yeah.
Or anytime like somebody needs a 2-putt essentially from 20 feet to win the hole and they hammer, I drop it in that situation because you're going to likely 2-putt it.
So a couple questions: does the jump still count after the hammer is dropped? Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Is there an instance where nobody ever throws a hammer? Yes, totally.
Almost never, though.
Almost never, yeah. I mean, you really want to you really want to hammer when it makes sense.
Yeah. You can't play this game scared either.
Yeah.
It's not fun if you play
Play
scared.
Play brave. Play big.
That's why it's almost more fun to play with smaller amounts because then everybody gets really freewheeling. And then on the 16th or 17th hole, whichever one you want to. Like the drawback, so we always do it, whoever's down the most heading into the 16th hole, and they do it this way at Greenville Country Club because their 16th hole is a great par 3. But whoever's down the most heading into that hole, A gets to be the wolf, and B can dictate how much each dot is worth. So we've played that hole for $10 a dot, but the only drawback to that is if you're playing 4-man hammer and like that fourth guy in the rotation gets screwed out of being the wolf.
That's true. Those are details.
Yeah.
Those are details.
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you have the junk memorized by now? Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty close. I had an Obi-Wan Kenobi the other night, only the second one recorded history. I went OB, re-teed, and I had 83 yards in, and I hold it from the rough for a Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is OB and making par or better. So,
huge.
Often a rattler, too. My dad was not happy about that one.
Do you have other questions, or was that really the main?
We got a lot. So Lucas Dolangowski says, what will be the point of not taking the hammer to maybe just let the other team get 1 dot instead of 2? That's exactly right. When you don't take the hammer, it's because you're only going to want to let one team win, or the other team just win the 1 dot. Parker Sewell says, how does the point total always equal 0? So this is important. So
accounting is very important in this game.
It's important. I messed it up the first time I did it. So every hole should be a 0-sum game. So if Tron and I are partners and we win 4 dots and DJ and Randy are partners, they lose 4 dots. So you write down a 4 for me, a 4 for Tron, then -4 for DJ, -4 for Randy. Always be 0. And check it every hole to make sure you don't mess up. It should always add up to 0, all the totals. So, and always make sure you're assigning losing, because that's what I did the first time. I wasn't giving people minus points. And then at the end of the day, some dude that lost $150 on one hole, some hole only lost like 30 for the day, and I messed that all up.
The problem too is like
someone said, by the way, a lot of potential clerical errors in this game.
Correct.
A lot of clerical errors.
So people also forget, like when you go lone wolf, like blind lone wolf, or let's say everything.
Well, so somebody just asked that. So explain how the dots work when you go alone.
So when you go alone, you're playing 4-man. It's 4x if you go blind before you even hit your shot. Let's say you hit your shot, you like the way you look, you want to guarantee it. That's 3x. After you've hit your shot,
the men's warehouse
anybody else has hit their shot. Let's say you see everybody else hit their shot, and you still want to go alone. That's 2x. And then if you're just choosing a partner, then it's just 1, no x. But the thing is, if you go 4x, not only is everything times 4, but you have to pay out
times 3
each of the other guys.
So that's where it gets out of control, and this is where almost
or
everybody
collect.
or collect. Yeah. But you almost never win when you go solo because you just get jumped.
Well, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
Well, before we do that, so Tron, the one exception, as I'm sure he's going to explain. Almost everybody who plays this game has played Wolf and thinks, "Oh my gosh, like I've gone lone wolf a million times. Like, let's do it. My drive's in the fairway. Let's go for it." And the problem is, all the junk gets exponential too. So if you get somebody out there and you make, let's say that you make a 4 or whatever, the other teams, Hogan's, Polies, Sandy's, Junkman's, all that stuff is all times 4 as well, and so it's so easy to just get junked to death. So really, it makes sense to go lone on like a par 3 if you stuff it. That makes total sense. Solly, what happens when you go lone on a par 5, for instance?
Well, this is what happens when you invite your caddy to go play with you. So I hit a ball in the fairway on a par 5, and everybody else missed the fairway. So I was like, you know what? Let's live a little bit. Let's go alone. The caddy, who is like a scratch player, hits a 3-wood from 276. The ball disappears near the green. We're not sure where it goes. We walk up, and it's in the hole for an albatross, wasabi, double wasabi, eagle, birdie, double eagle.
Offner Rattler.
Hogan.
Is that triple wasabi?
We asked, no, because you get a triple for the double eagle.
Okay.
So we had to literally call GH to get the ruling on how many dots I lost. So I lost like 13 ways to a 2 net 1. He got a pop on the hole too. He got a 2 net 1. And not good. No, it was not good. So it can add up really quick. I only actually lost like $72 or something that hole, so it wasn't that bad. But
you got KY, OJ.
KY and OJ, yeah. So that's
what other questions you got?
Let's see. Are people firing something on the?
Has anyone pulled off a bugler? Not in this group.
I haven't seen the bugler. So the bugler is you get the attention of the rest of the group by saying "quiet, please," and you fart in your backswing and make par better. I have not seen the bugler yet.
It has to be like very audible.
Someone at You Can Call Me Carlos. Hey Carlos. Says what was the win-loss total in the video? Can't tell you.
Can't tell you. All I know it's net 0 so far because I've not received any dollars.
I'm on a payment.
We're on a payment plan. Yeah,
a payment plan to not pay. The plan is to not pay. That's
we always pay our debts.
We kind of want to see
Lannister.
We want to see what happens with this North Korea situation. If we're going to actually have to end up paying or not.
Josh Wilson asks, do eagle putts that end inside the flag equal wasabi?
I had a question about that yesterday. Yeah.
So a lot of people asking how do handicaps work into this. So
glad you asked.
Yeah. So basically, all the handicaps only impact who wins the hole. Correct. So
whole hammer take. Yeah.
The whole hammer take. So if I make a net, 5 for 4, that's a 4. However, if I make a bogey with a Poley or a bogey with a Sandy or a Hogan or something, all of the
junk's not
all the junk is gross, basically. Which I think is up to you depending on who you're playing with, right? I mean, I think if you're playing with that, obviously favors the low handicappers. I mean, all of us that play are, none of us are great, but we're all single digits, and so we make a fair amount of pars. If you're playing with a bunch of high handicappers, and you want to play net scores, I think that makes total sense.
Well, the other thing too is if just I feel like in order to play with people, you got to have 4 people that are in the same realm of golf. Otherwise, you're going to be getting Adolfs and Saddams and Bin Ladens all over the place.
I made a double Adolf when we played Shore Acres on the first hole. It's not good.
Yeah. So here's what we did yesterday. We pumped everyone's handicap.
Sorry. So the hammer. I'm just going to fire the questions while people are watching, so then they can leave. So the hammer resets every tee. Yes.
So we were going to say, we upped people's handicaps yesterday, and that worked. That worked a little bit better. Like, when you're going to handicap it, so there was like a 15 handicap. I gave them 18, and just giving them a few extra holes to kind of take advantage of the whole hammer take because you're going to junk them to death. It worked out pretty fair. Actually, I lost a lot of money. So,
the other thing, so we played this last week with Andy Johnson of the Fried Egg, one of his buddies.
Shout out Fried Egg.
Yeah, and Andy, of course, he was just bitching about it the entire time. Like, the entire front nine, he was like, this is just ridiculous. Like, just poking holes in every little facet of the game. He was lobbying for a
rejection.
A refusal.
Yeah.
A rejection.
Which I like. We put it in play. It was super fun. And so the idea is basically if you get picked, let's say I'm the wolf and Soly hits a good one and I pick him, he can spit me back, but then he has to go lone and everything is times 3. Which I think is pretty fun, and it evens things out a little bit. Otherwise, you got shitty players like me just dragging people down.
The problem
I think
with
that only helps the best players.
It does.
Even more.
Someone said need a key for these names. I'm lost. NoLayup.com/Wolfhammer. Check it out. Everything is listed out there.
I want to know if anybody out there has seen a taint.
The bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
Life too.
I should have built a graphic.
We've never seen a taint in real life.
Never seen a taint in real life. The taint, of course, if you're not familiar with the terms, is when you make par better from the area between 2 bunkers.
It has to be. You have to be able to reach out
and touch
with the rake and touch each bunker without bending over.
GH has been taint eligible, but never pulled.
Taint eligible twice. He said. Yeah. I was taint eligible a couple weeks ago.
You choked.
I did.
Tron had a potential NASCAR taint Poley and just left it short right in the jaws.
I know.
But so what's great about this game is all these dots that you're mentioning keep you in the hole, and that you almost, if you can get the ball, if you hit it on the green and have a putt for par, you usually are. It's for something. It's usually a pulley, or it might be a junk man. It might be a sandy. There's almost always a reason to stay in the hole, and it's just. I think this game could solve a lot of drug problems in the States. Like, you wouldn't need to use drugs if you just like play this game. Like, it's the high that you need.
I've never felt more alive than
I agree, totally.
than like the first time that I played with these guys, going blind lone. They're like, dude, we've only ever seen like one other person go blind lone. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I lost like $300 on one.
That's
Someone tell. So I don't think this story made the video, but real quick, we should tell the story, the Bill Haas story.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the guys at Greenville. So we mentioned in the story and in the write up, Bill Haas plays this game with the Greenville guys.
Ben Martin
loves it, yeah. And so they were playing number 10, which is like the number 16 handicap or 17 handicap, and this guy was
it's kind of an easy,
kind of a shortish par 4,
a little dog leg left.
And this
guy
who's an 8 handicap was leading off. So he's an 8 handicap. I think he was getting 14 shots from Bill. Bill plays as a +6, and so it must have been a 17 handicap or something. And so he hits one. It might be in the fairway bunker. It might not. He goes, yeah. What do you guys think? You think that's in? And he's like, they're like, maybe it might be. I think you might be in good shape. He goes, all right, fuck it, I'll go lone. And they're like, all right, cool, we'll hammer because we have literally Bill Haas is coming behind you with no you're not getting any shots. It's you versus Bill Haas, like, we'll hammer. And so that guy got just stuck.
Crushed.
Just crushed.
It was like hammer, take, hold, triple wasabi, like Minaj.
And the legend
goes
that he'd never played again.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. That everything gets decided on the lone holes. Like, you're gonna exchange a insignificant amount of money if nobody ever goes alone, and that's not fun. So.
Well, and then like if people, it's really hard to make up ground once you're behind.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's like you start throwing good money after bad, and it gets.
But you become the wolf on 16 if you're down a lot,
True.
and you set the dollar amount. So, like, if 16 is a par 3, and you can set the dollar amount huge, and let's say you can set it for $10 a dot, and you stuff one, you can go alone. I mean, your risk is almost minimal at that. And even if you don't stuff one, you can typically pick a good partner, and you have such an advantage being the wolf. You pick essentially the best partner, probably. So yeah, it's so easy to make up money. We were playing with the guy at Strikers. It was down.
See, I
$70.
disagree. I think it's hard because you want to make it all up. Like you
got
this overriding temptation to go lone.
Yeah.
He didn't win a hole, I don't think, until the 16th hole. He was down 70 or something, and then won 40, and then won 30, and was back to flat within 2 holes, and then he lost 40 on like the 18th hole. But nice birdie. But no, I think there's so much strategy to it, but it's also just so much rides on those last few holes, like a disproportionate. It's kind of like the FedExCup, a disproportionate amount of money rides on those last few holes. Yeah.
Great point. All right. So just to clarify, so someone just asked you, set the dot value for 1 to 15, and then the low man sets the dot value for 16 to 18. Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So all right. So here's an example. I'm gonna tell a story from last weekend. Here's an example.
Thoughts on Shore Acres?
We're out playing Mount Prospect in Chicago, which was sweet, and the 10th hole is a shortish par 3, like
135.
Yeah, like 135, 140. So we stop and get some beverages at the turn, and the guy we're playing with says, "All right, I'm going." Like before we even get up to the tee,
he's already down a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm going blind lone,
and I'll hammer."
And we're like, "Cool, we'll hammer back." And then he was like, "You know what? Cool, I'll hammer back." And then we're like, "All right, we'll hammer back again." So we had like 11 dots on the line
before he hit a shot.
Before anybody hit a shot.
And
blind alone.
Yeah, and it was like we're watching it. We're like, dude, don't go alone. Like, you got 3 of us on a 130-yard hole. Like, one of us is gonna make par or birdie. Like,
yeah. And then Andy stuffed it to.
Yeah, it was a quad boomerang, as someone just pointed out. Exactly.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Nice. People picking it up.
Yeah, people got it. All right, let's do.
But that's reckless. Like, don't do like.
Yeah.
We don't advise that.
I don't think he realized like quite what he had done, because then it was not only that, it was 11 times 4 times 3 ways.
Yeah, it was
right from the start before you even start factoring in
plus double dots on the back.
And all. Oh yeah,
it was a disaster.
Yeah,
didn't go well. All right, so let's keep.
Got a good question.
Yeah.
Josh Clark says, if some of the junk does the junk cancel out? The answer is yes.
Exactly.
So if my team gets 2 Hogans and DJ's team gets 1 Hogan, we get 1 net dot out of that. So yes, the junk most definitely cancels out.
One more thing I want to clarify: we've gotten a lot of comments about pace of play. It doesn't slow down pace of play.
Not at all.
Not at all. Don't worry about it.
Honestly, it makes me. There's been more instances of like a lot of the time when I play Wolf, I don't even know what I shoot.
Right.
Right. You don't even care anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the other thing.
The game is so much
5 or 6 or whatever.
Because the game is so much more important than whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea what I shot the last 10 rounds I played. Probably.
Yeah,
10.
it's great. It's liberating.
Let's do 1 or 2 more, and then let's wrap it up. We're already going way longer than I thought we were going to here.
Well, that's all right. I'm in no rush.
Zach's like texting us asking about the course this week. We're like,
yeah,
dude, we've been telling you about
Atlantic Beach Country Club next week. It's gonna be awesome.
6 months, dude.
Golf the beach.
Yeah.
Solid, we got any more Wolfhammer questions?
There's a lot. They're not very good.
Someone just asked, "What's the most you've seen someone lose on one hole?"
Like one person.
I don't know if we have to name names.
It
was me and Tron. Yeah.
Most dots I've seen is 160 dots on one hole.
Jesus.
That's a lot of dots.
He went blind alone.
Was that double on the back? Like was that double dots in the back? Or?
No, he went blind alone on a par 5. He got double Hoganed, triple wasabi, triple birdie. So he got Minaj. So he got K Wide and OJ. I think he lost 13 or 14 ways. And I felt so bad for him. I stopped like adding up the dots and was like, oh yeah, it's just 14 ways you lost times 4 times 3 people. So whatever that is. So 45.
A lot of people have been asking for a rule book or like if we carry a sheet. We got it pretty well memorized, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Like 4 rounds.
I think we need to make a rule book.
But go to the website. You can print off the directions from the website. That'll help. It'll help.
The hammer
you.
tablet is on the original Greenville Country Club hammer tablet is on the site as well.
All right, what do we got to get to? Anything else?
Is that all? I mean, are there more people asking any more questions on? DJ's got carte blanche on the questions here.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't mentioned.
I want to be made fun of.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're there. You can go back and watch.
When are we doing the next one of these? Should we talk about the President's Cup or should we talk about?
I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's debrief after this.
And because the final is 25.
It's getting lit.
Some pretty fascinating
fairly lit
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mostly just guys keeping their cards that were already on tour, which kind of sucks. But you got Curtis Luck sitting at 26th.
Someone said Periscope is where legends are made.
Actually, you know what? I don't even think they've updated. Nope, they haven't updated it. This is still through the Matrix. This is still through the Albertsons Boise Open.
You can click projected right here, and that'll show you what you need.
But
we're getting lost in the sauce here.
I don't know if it's official then.
Too much sauce.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up on that. That's 45 minutes. I feel like that's plenty of golf talk. Any parting thoughts? Boots on the ground at the President's Cup, someone wants to know?
ZB's 26th.
Neil will be there.
I know so. Neil will be there. Yep. Young Neil
will be there. He's the only one of us that will be there. You guys will be at the Web Tour Championship next week, so if anyone's there, be sure to track these guys down. Tron will not be wearing Skechers, unfortunately. He's paid his debt.
I gave him to the Hurricane Relief Fund.
Yeah.
Did my part. Thanks. Dropped him
wow.
off goodwill.
Just a humble servant, really.
Somebody's going to get Skechers and be thrilled.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone who's watching this. Thank you, guys. This was a.
Let us know what you want to see in the future.
This is a bold new step.
Yeah.
This is our first time, so let us know what works, what doesn't, and we're going to keep doing this a lot. So, thanks for anyone that tuned in. Did anyone tune in?
There's like 6 people watching it. It's great.
Oh, great! All right, that was totally worth my time.
No, there's more than that. It's good. All right, cool. We're going to also throw this. If you just tuned in late, we're going to throw it up on YouTube right after this as well. And I think that's it from here. Signing off from the greater Atlantic Beach area. We'll see you guys next week.
We out here. Zach's $1,000 try.
All right. We are...